Hey everybody, Steve Burns from ChromeIllusion.com. So I've been getting questions on setting up the pen. I'm using a Xencelab pen for the reason that you get a 2-button mouse and a 3-button mouse with the Xencelab. If I go up here to the home on the left-hand side, I'm inside my Xencelab panel. You get with the Xencelab a 2-button thin pen, or as we see here, or if we go back to home, you get the 3-button 3D pen. So this is the one I recommend that you use for Blender. Okay, all right, so give you a little bit of an example. There are functionalities in Blender that uses the scroll wheel. That's very important. If I hit Control R for my slicing, I can roll the scroll wheel up or roll the scroll wheel down, and we have this real nice functionality for adding additional slices to our subject. All right, so how do we set that up with the pen? First of all, and very, very important, you need to update your Xencelab software to the latest version. The previous versions do not work well with this functionality, but the latest version does. So what you're going to do is, if your Blender is not up here, I'm going to go ahead and do it for you. You can see right here, I've got my latest version of Blender selected. So if I go back right up here, this is the old version and the latest version. I'm going to show you how to install it. Now, if your version is not up here, right over to the right hand side of your software, and you can see all the various types of software that I have preferences set for, like Photoshop. We've got Painter, Adobe Painter for 3D painting, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and so forth. So if I hit the plus button, we're going to come right over here and go to Browse. Now I'm on Windows, so I'm inside my Programs folder, Program Files, Blender Foundation, Blender 3.6. So, but I've got a bunch of different versions of Blender, right? From 3.1 all the way to 3.6. Make sure you have the 3.6 selected and select the Blender EXE. Now I've already done so, I'm not going to click OK, but you will click Open on yours to ensure that you have the latest version of Blender installed. So if I come over here, that's my latest version. Now we have 3 buttons on this mouse. The bottom one is a right click by default, and I think the middle one, I forget what the middle was set for by default, but it doesn't matter, so we're going to change this. So keep the bottom one, the bottom click, right click, that we're going to use that one. Click on the middle one, which is going to be my scroll down. Go over here to navigation and then hit scroll down. Now, when we set this in previous versions of the Xencelab software, the scroll down and the scroll up didn't work very well. This one does, so this is FYI once again. Now, let's go over here to the top button, and we're going to set that to navigation it again and scroll up. Okay, now, once done, okay, you're set to go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to go into Blender. Now I have the pen in my hand. All right. And I'm going to hit Control R. And I'm going to hit the top button and click it and release, and adding more geometry. Click the bottom button. Now the pen is hovering above your pad. You're not touching your pad with your pen. It's hovering above your pad, where your pad is recognizing the connection with your pen. But when you hit the top button and the bottom button, you get to add more geometry or take away geometry. That's how you set it up for your pen. Okay, so I thought that would be a nice little helpful tip for everybody. So if you're using a pen, go to your Wacom software and make sure the latest one is selected. If you're using a Wacom tablet, right, and set it up for scroll up and scroll down. Xencelab, make sure you have the latest version of the Xencelab tablet, since those are the two main competing products for the market. And Xencelab, latest version, and then go ahead and set it up as I've just shown you. Okay, that's it. Steve Burns from ChromeIllusion.com, signing off.